Alright, today I'm gonna show you how to produce like Nomu. First, let's look over uh, what I did so far with this beat. Alright, so alright. So first off, what to do? You'll need to make a simple chime bell melody. So for the plugin I used for this sound, I use a DX7 from the Arteria Collection bundle, Arteria 5. I recommend you to go pick it up. Either yeah, but or you could just either find like another similar sound from like Purity or I think there's like a couple of sounds of Inspire or Serum, but hey, up to you. But so first off, you want to make a simple chime bell melody, nothing too complicated. All right. So this is what I did so far for the pattern. This is what it sounds like. Well, these are the effects I have so far on the mixer channel. All you need is just some delay, maybe some reverb if it's sounding too dry, but this is what it sounds like without the effects. But yeah, like I said, nothing too complicated. Just make it as simplistic as you can and make it catchy too. So so the next part is the counter mill. What I used for this counter mill, I used Spire and I used the Hot Lead AZ from the Factory 2 bank. Uh, didn't really, I didn't really do anything I didn't really do anything special with this. So for the mixer channel, I also used Delay 3, just like with the first one. I used the factory default Delay 3 because you really don't really need to tune out your Delay 3 when it comes to like simplistic melodies. I also use Reverb 2 because want to get that extra wetness. I use the Wave Shaper to get that little bit of that distortion manipulation, especially if you're using gross beat over it with the D clicker and the flange. So this is what it sounds like. So this is the pattern so far. Like I said, very simple. Try to do it, try not to overcomplicate things when you're making the mill. But yeah, as you can tell, like I said, Wave Shaper for distortion manipulation, and to have that little bit of that sharpness, that sharp edge to the mill. Also, keep in mind, try if you want to, like I did, I also boost up the mids just to give it that extra grit with this mill. So yeah. Uh, next one. Next one is the counter, like the second lead or the second counter. With this one, as you can see, simple melody pattern. Didn't really do too much with this one. So with this one, I didn't really do too much. I did boost the mids a little bit because with this preset with Spire, the mids with this one didn't really peak out too much, and like the whole preset itself wasn't too noticeable, so I wanted to boost up the mids, and also added a gross beat gate to add that bounce and some delay 3 and some reverb to give it that wetness. So this is what it sounds like so far, if you haven't heard earlier again. And then the next one is another layer mill I used. I used the CS80 for this one. So with this one, since I want it to be like, when it comes to like making the Nomu mill, you want it to be like very energetic, very nice, very very, maybe not calm, but you know, very happy, you know, sounding, you know, like a you know, like a lullaby. Like you know what I named right here, but yeah. So with this one, it's like for this mel right here, for this layer, it's like a 8-bit mel, like video game type-ish, like textured mel. So what you want to do with this one, well, I specifically boosted up the, you know, the master, whatever, because the preset itself wasn't that loud. Had some reverb, not too much, maybe around 50%. Also for the delay, I put it at times 2. I put keep pitch on in the tempo sync, and I also, like, if you wanted to, you could mess with the sample rate to give it even more of like a 8-bit texture to the mill. But you know, with this preset I have with the CS80, another plugin from the Arteria collection, it doesn't really need that much. So besides that, I also have the Blue Crusher. I put it at 5. I put it at 5% or 5, whatever, for the Crusher, because like I said, the whole sound itself didn't really need too much tuning to make it sound more 8-bitty or you know, video game-ish, you know. Besides that, I also have 3 gross beats. I put a gate to add that bounce, as you can hear from the melody earlier, and then I also added a declicker, and I also added this gross beat bank, which I think I got it from, it's from the Mockney kit, I think. Either that or the Bug kit, one of the two, but something like that. But this is what it sounds like with the gross beats on. So this is what it sounds like without it. And like the other mells, you don't really need to overcomplicate things too. So this is the arrangement. Very simple. And then for this mel, I used morphine to have like another layer to give it more of a bounce too. So this, I'd say this would be the main lead, but yeah, this is what it sounds like. If I remember, this is like from the Kojo preset from his kit for the morphine lead, so I recommend you pick that up too if you want to. But yeah, I didn't really do too much with this. Boosted the mids, lowered some of the lows, also boosted some of the highs as well for this one, because the lead didn't really pop out as much throughout the melody and throughout the beat as I thought it would. So I did that. Also at default, well, little, not really default, but this is my arrangement for the reverb. I turned off delay. I turned down the wetness because the lead itself was already too wet, so I just turned up the dryness. You don't really need separation. I mean, you could try to if you want to experiment, share a little bit more, but yeah. And then for delay, I have the default delay. I have to keep pitch off, and I have the soothing in the middle, whatever. And I also have the delay at around 20%. So yeah, nothing too, not too much delay. So yeah, and then here's the final lead, the counter lead, I guess, for the drop. So I also boosted the mids on this one, and I used serum for this particular part too. I used the saw sync or the soft preset, whatever. But yeah, I boosted up the mids because, like I said, with the other lead, with this counter lead, I boosted up the mids to make it stand out more. And yeah, I also default delay right here too, and default reverb, I think. Yeah. And I put this at around 30-40%, and then for this one it's around 30-40% as well. And yeah, that's all for the mells. So next is the drums. For the drums, you don't really need to do too much. It's very simple. Nothing too hard. It's very light-hearted. So this is what I got so far with the drums. So with the 808, for the 808 choice, you want something like something that would pop out. Some like a harsh 808 would be nice, something like that. So for the Zay short 808, I got this from Amari Kit Volume 1. It's somewhere around Reddit. You can just search it up on Google. It's really easy to get. Or I think I used this from the 4 a.m. kit, which you can get if you try to X around, something like that. But yeah, this is the patterns for the 808s. Nothing too complicated. Yeah, and then the claps, and then the hats, which are 2-step hats, whatever. Nothing, no hat rolls or anything. Something simple. Because the main focus with some Nomu beats is that the drums aren't really the focus. It's the mells, and sometimes some Nomu beats are vocal intensive. That means like they're more vocal like focused, so you don't necessarily need to worry about having more than what you could offer when you make a Nomu beat. So yeah, another thing, I used the Wonder Girl kick, which is from the Ellen's kit. It's a really good kick. Recommend you to pick that up. And I also have a stomp from the Kojo kit to add more bounce to kicks, to have it more give it a more impact sounding for this beat. So yeah, but yeah, this is what it sounds like. And then I also have a snare for when it hits the lead right here, to have it, I guess, have it more very variety when it comes to going through the beat. So on this part. snare, I had reverb to make the snare pop out more with the lead when it comes up. So yeah, it's very subtle, but nothing too much. But yeah. Besides that, for besides the drums and the melodies, I also had the reeds right here. So this reeds, you could probably get it from the Kojo kit, one of the presets for Serum, something like that. But for my instance, I used a one shot for the reeds. Besides that, for the transitions, I used the Kojo transition. You can get that from the latest Kojo kit or the second latest, and then here's the riser, the Shingen riser. And then a couple of other sounds. Here's this other transition I got from the Kojo kit that I'm using, and then I also got the top class stable rise sound effect from the top class kit, which you can probably search around to find it. But yeah. Besides that, I also used the love filter for the transitions too, to have it to give it a more emotional build up with these beats. Just to give it more, to vary more, around each transition of the beat. But yeah, besides that, this is pretty much it for the Nomu type beat, or the tutorial for the Nomu beat. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and yeah.